The New York Knicks just beat the Cleveland Cavaliers to move to 1-0 on the 2025-26 season, and we got to break down exactly how it happens. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Knicks Basketball 365. If you're a New York Knicks fan, hit that subscribe button. We are making YouTube videos about the New York Knicks every single day. But let's get into what happened tonight. The New York Knicks defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers by 8 points, 119 to 111. The Knicks holding a pretty sizable lead for most of the night, although it got a little bit hairy in the third quarter when Donovan Mitchell decided he was going to go for double-digit points about 2 minutes into the quarter, and the Knicks ended up surrendering 37 points in that quarter and only scoring 22 with a quarter plus-minus differential of minus 15 points. Not what you want to see coming out of halftime. Kind of points towards it might point towards the Cavaliers making better halftime adjustments than the New York Knicks, but I really think you can chalk that up to the Knicks just not hitting shots in the third quarter, while Donovan Mitchell, one of the best players in basketball, especially in the Eastern Conference, got really, really hot. So I wouldn't look too deep into that from a coaching perspective. The New York Knicks with a positive plus-minus point differential in every other quarter. If we continue on to look at the stats by team, the New York Knicks made less shots than the Cleveland Cavaliers, shooting 37 for 86, good for a 43% field goal made percentage, which is 3 points lower than what the Cavaliers put up. But the big difference in the shooting tonight was at the free throw line, where for some reason the Cavaliers really struggled, missing 6 free throws, and only 66%, making 2/3 of the free throws were the Cleveland Cavaliers. Not what you want to look at. What you'd rather see is the New York Knicks, first of all, shooting 36 free throws, and a better word wouldn't be shooting, even though, of course, they did shoot them. A better word for what the New York Knicks did with their free throws would be earned 36 free throws, because they were attacking the rim, driving into the paint inside the three-point line, where the Cleveland Cavaliers they were trying to win the game in the first quarter from outside the three-point line. They must have been watching film of the New York Knicks from opening night of the 2024 season when the Boston Celtics fell one three-pointer short of setting a record of three-point field goals made in a night, or maybe they tied it. It was a bad night. I've erased it from my memory, but for whatever reason, the Cavaliers did not want to go inside the three-point line. They chucked up way too many threes to start the game. Ended up only shooting 46, but in the beginning of the game, when they had 21 points, 15 of those 21 Cavalier points came from three-pointers, while only 6 came from inside the three-point line or on free throws. Well, actually, none of them came to free throws, because at the same point, the Cavaliers had 0 free throw attempts to the New York Knicks 10 free throw attempts. And it's not because the New York Knicks got a better whistle from the officials. It's because they had an overall better offensive game plan. They were moving inside the paint, not just settling for three-pointers, and they were actually making the defense work, and they were making the officials call something. When you go in and you force contact from the defender, you force the official to call a penalty either way. So that's why the Knicks were able to end up with 36 fouls called, or 36 free throws attempted, and why the Cavaliers had significantly less. Also, the New York Knicks only shooting 35% from the three-point line, 14 for 40. We can expect that number to raise up a little bit. Now looking at how the starters played, this image got cut off a little bit, but we can still read everything. The number one starter in terms of points played was OG Anunoby, also leading the team with 24 points. OG Anunoby had a great game, hitting a couple of corner threes, and I really think our head coach, Mike Brown, set up the offense really, really well in the right-hand corner. So if you're driving down, if you put the basketball in your right hand and drive to the corner on your right, driving towards the basket, that's what I'm referring to by the right-hand corner. That's where the Knicks were calling their plays and getting open corner threes. If you notice, in the first half on the broadcast, there was a play where I believe it was Deuce hit a wide-open three, and they showed a replay with a big green box of how much open floor space there was created by the play call by Mike Brown. Something Tom Thibodeau really didn't do and wasn't amazing at doing, was calling and designing offensive plays. So that is something that it would expect to get better under the new head coach, Mike Brown, just as long as we aren't sacrificing too much defensive intensity and overall defensive just activity and just being good at defense. And speaking of defense, Karl-Anthony Towns, one of the Knicks maligned defenders, one of his biggest problems in his entire career has been committing too many fouls. He committed 2 fouls in the first half of this game, and that has to improve. He has to understand that he is too important to be stuck in foul trouble and to be on the bench with like 7 minutes left in the first quarter. We need him to play, especially on a night where there's no Mitchell Robinson and we're forced to go to the bench to go get guys who really shouldn't be playing earlier. We got a guy I'm going to talk about, or Trey Jemison, on a 10-day contract. He got real minutes to start because Karl-Anthony Towns got into that early foul trouble. I would say Karl-Anthony Towns needs to work on it, but at this stage of his career, he was drafted in 2015, a decade later. He's probably not going to get better. He's never going to be a player who doesn't commit dumb fouls. That's just part of his game. He's not a good defender, and I'm always saying you can't ask a bad defender to be good at defense. What you can ask him to do is to put forth effort and try hard on defense. And to me, Karl-Anthony Towns brought defensive effort tonight. So I have to tip my cap to what Karl-Anthony Towns did defensively, although the fouls were not good enough. And when OG Anunoby drove into the paint in the third quarter and Karl-Anthony Towns grabbed the arm of Jared Allen and just pulled him backwards, like that was a really, really, really bad foul to take for Karl-Anthony Towns. When you're a superstar player, maybe not a superstar. When you're a star player, you got to be smarter than that. Cannot commit that penalty. Love to see Ariel Hukporti getting a start, one of my favorite young players on this New York Knicks team, starting the place of the injured Mitchell Robinson. Hukporti only 2 points, but you can tell the defensive presence that this man has when he's on the floor. Guys do not want to go into the paint, and a center who can protect the rim is one of the most important things when you are building out a championship roster. I'm not saying Ariel Hukporti is a championship level rim protector, but he is certainly a very good, he's a solid fill-in for when Mitchell Robinson is out. I gotta, maybe I'm hyping him up a little bit too much, but I do like what I'm seeing from Hukporti. Felt like he was on the right end of a couple fast breaks, helping us generate them, helping make good passes. And then the last starter that we haven't mentioned, Mikal Bridges, hitting some shots, putting up 16 points, 16 quiet points. Really, nothing too much to say good or bad about Mikal Bridges. Moving on to what we had out of the bench. So we had some questions about how much, were these bench players going to play, because last season we know Tom Thibodeau didn't like to play the bench a lot, as well as there were a lot of new pickups on this bench. So what was it going to look like? Now, to me, the number one offseason pickup was Jordan Clarkson, who did not shoot well, 2 for 7 from the field, only 4 points. You expect him to do better. We want to see him lead the offense when Jalen Brunson is off the floor, when the bench is out there. That didn't happen tonight. Hopefully, as is that a B? Well, something dangerous just flew by my head. As when the starters are not on the floor, we need an offensive starter, and we need someone who can get their own shot and score some points. That's going to be Jordan Clarkson. He is going to have some games where he puts up over 25 points from the bench. Tonight was not his night. Maybe he's still settling in. It's just one game. Don't look into it too deep. Someone that I was, pretty happy with what I saw was Tyler Kolek getting in the game really, really early. I didn't think we were going to see him at all this game. So seeing him in the first quarter really shocked me. With Tyler Kolek immediately responded with a really good assist and a 3-point make. Shot really poorly in the summer league, but he shooting better tonight. Shot 3 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3-point land, putting up 7 points overall. Pretty solid shooting night for a guy who has not shot the basketball well over the summer. But hey, those are the preseason games, summer league games. They're not real games. It's a different atmosphere. Sometimes a veteran player, not NBA veteran, but a guy who's played a lot of basketball, he's 24 years old. Sometimes they just, when the games really matter, they just step up and play better basketball. Tyler Kolek, one of the big things that he needs to work on, or has had to work on in the past, is the turnovers to assists. He hasn't been making good passes, but tonight, really liked the way he was passing the basketball, made some good passes, had some good assists, could have had a couple more if OG Anunoby hit some shots that were taken directly after his passes, but they weren't made. But hey, I'm about the process, not about the results, and all Kolek can do is make good passes and set up his teammates, which he did. He can't make the shot or miss the shot for OG Anunoby, although I would say the one of those threes was way contested. OG should not have taken it. I'm not ragging on him for missing the shots. OG had a great night. Yabusele, quiet night. Only 2 shots from him, if I'm going to be completely honest. I don't remember him taking 2 shots in the game. I don't even remember him taking a single shot. But 12 minutes, 0 points for Gershon Yabusele. Landry Shamet, after a season with Tom Thibodeau in 2024 where he put up a career low in minutes per game and points per game, he comes out and puts up 9 points for the New York Knicks, hitting 2 of his 3 3-pointers. That's what he's there to do. Just hit some 3-pointers off the bench. Absolutely came through tonight. And of course, one of the guys who was pretty projectable to be the 6th man, it was either going to be Clarkson or McBride. McBride playing 26 minutes, the most of any New York Knicks bench player tonight, putting up the best plus minus on the bench of plus minus 17, 15 points scored for Deuce McBride. Just want to quickly check if plus minus 17. Yeah, that is the best plus minus of any New York Knicks who was on the floor tonight. It was a game of runs. The Knicks would make a run, then the Cavs would make a run. So maybe it just happened to be that McBride was on the floor when the Cavs were shooting poorly. Maybe he was playing great defense. Maybe he's the best player on the Knicks. Who knows? It's only one game, but starting off on the right foot, you always want to get to 1-0. Take it from a Jet fan. You always, take the Knicks. Wow. I just realized the Knicks won a game before the Jets won a game, and the Jets have been playing for a month and 3 weeks. And the New York Knicks have been playing for a couple hours. But that's what I got for this video. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Knicks.